ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about OTM 2024 and the theme for today's inaugural session. Is the world ready for the Indian traveler? India is in a sweet spot, perhaps the sweetest spot due to everything that has been happening around in the world. As the Indian population surpasses 1.4 billion, it is not just the sheer numbers that are capturing the attention of the travel industry, but the evolving preferences of the Indian traveler. We have an interesting discussion lined up about how the world is getting ready for a new wave of Indian tourists, a travel market which has rebounded like no other since the pandemic. I am a huge contributor to that as well. Allow me to introduce to you the moderator of our next session. 5 years ago, she embarked on a journey of sharing her passion for food and travel through Curly Tales. And today, her community boasts a staggering 10 million Indian travelers. This incredible growth underscores the undeniable wanderlust that resonates with our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to now invite upon stage Kamiya Jani, founder of Curly Tales. Please join us on stage, and Kamiya will introduce her esteemed panelists this morning. Can we have some mics for Ms. Jani on stage, please? Take it away, Kamiya. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful introduction, Shruti. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and my fellow travelers, a very warm welcome to OTM, the leading travel show in Asia. As a part of my profession, just like Shruti mentioned, I've been to many countries and have had the privilege of indulging into various cultures and experiences and cuisines, of course. And with me, as a platform on social media, as well as a content media platform on Curly Tales, we've had many people joining us on this journey, and over 10 million Indian travelers, I would like to believe, enthusiastic, extremely enthusiastic about the world of travel, who have joined us on this journey. Started this 5 years ago, and I can tell that with me, travel as a subject is something that all Indians are very, very passionate about. Shruti also shared some interesting numbers. So definitely, Indians are ready to travel. Our theplas and khakras are always packed. Our vacations are planned. The big question is the world ready for Indian travelers? And to answer this very important question, we have three eminent personalities joining us today. And let me introduce them. To begin with, would like to call upon stage His Excellency Mr. Harin Fernando, Minister of Tourism and Lands, Minister of Sports and Youth Affairs from Sri Lanka. I would also like to call upon stage Mr. Philip Dickinson, leading international markets and MICE, Qatar Tourism. And finally, let's welcome Her Excellency Ms. Marthini, Deputy Minister of Marketing, Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy, Indonesia. A very warm welcome to all of you. I'm sure every year you see a lot of tourists coming into your country. I would like to know, where does India stack up? Are we there amongst the top 3 or not? Yes. First, to you.
Yes, thank you for having me, and I think OTM is a great platform just to say thank you to India, first and foremost, because they've been number 1 for us, number 1 arrivals for Sri Lanka. It's growing so steadily and heavily, which we are always indebted to India for helping us. As you know, Sri Lanka went through a crisis almost about 18 months ago, all we did was come to India first. Remember, if I'm not mistaken, 22 September, and the support that the Indians have given, and the way it has lifted our tourism is a year-on-year 106% increase in tourism. So I'm a very happy man at the moment.
And that explains your presence at OTM, 6% growing year on year. Wow, that's commendable.
106%.
106%. Wow, okay. That's a big number, guys. Philip, what about you? I've been to Qatar during FIFA, love the country. I want to know, what about Indians? Do they love Qatar? What has been your statistics or numbers around that?
Yeah, they certainly love Qatar, and we love the India market. So pleasure to be here with this fantastic show. Absolutely. So it's our second largest market. Hasn't quite got the #1 spot yet, but I'm sure still some time to go on that one. So yeah, we welcomed 420,000 visitors in 2023, which was approximately about a 25% increase on 2022. 2022 was a bit of a strange year because to be honest, we were still actually closed as a country up until the end of March. Then we went into Ramadan, then we went into summer, and then we had a rather small footballing event going on. So it was a sort of a tricky year to sort of get going again. But that's a significant increase on 2019, which is what we benchmark against. So as I said, #2 market, growing. We're seeing extra capacity coming in, and it's really working for us because obviously we've got a huge amount of new product, and the India market are really sort of appreciating that, and the fact that we've got these new hotels and malls and attractions and things to see and do in Qatar, and it's of course just a short haul flight as well, is meaning that we're expecting those numbers to grow, and that's both coming leisure, VFR, and MICE business.
Wow, that's interesting. What about you, Miss? How is Indonesia doing in terms of inviting Indian travelers? Are we seeing great numbers there?
Yes. First of all, let me just say how happy I am to be here at OTM. This is a fantastic show. We missed last year, but we come back because we see the growth of Indian tourists to Indonesia. And the good news is that we met the target, 11.7 million tourists to Indonesia last year, 98% increase from last year. So that's great. How about Indian tourists? So in Bali, you are #2. Indian tourists are #2 in Bali.
Oh, we love to party.
Thank you very much. Very, very popular. But in terms of national, in Indonesia, you are #6. So there are a lot of rooms for improvement. We would like, through this OTM, to invite you all because I think you said earlier 1.4 billion, right? So we still have a lot of rooms to grow for Indian to come to Indonesia. And now there are more new destinations, not only Bali. Of course, Bali is the favorite and it's a hub. Thank God there is a connectivity now coming to Bali and Jakarta. But beyond that, there are a lot of destinations that you can visit. Thank you so much for the Indian tourists. So I hope to see the growth this year.
Well, definitely. Those are some amazing numbers coming in from all 3 tourism boards, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, as well as Qatar. And while Ms. did thank all of us, I definitely should make a shout out to all the tour operators and travel agents who are catering to all the tourists out there wanting to make travel plans and picking out these destinations as they mentioned. My second question to you would be, as somebody who's receiving so many Indian tourists into your country, what do you have to say about an Indian traveler? Are we price conscious? Are we value conscious? Do we want really good experiences? Or are we looking at how we can cut cost, save, but yet have an enjoyable travel experience?
Can I go first?
Yes, please.
Well, I think it's a mix of everything. The Indians, there are the adventure tourists, and I would say there's a very middle and upmarket tourism that's been improved in India. I think there's over 200 million Indians who are now in a capacity that they can really spend well. So we've analyzed this market, and Sri Lanka is an all-in-one capsule, I would say, minus the snow. We have everything else. We have a weather of 10 degrees. We have the 35 degrees, the sea, the sun, the sand, the mountains, the ancient history, the Raman trail. So we have the Buddhist tourism. So we are just now on the process of identifying what's best for the Indians, what should be the target segment. So we see India, all in all, is there for everything. And also we play cricket. Unfortunately, we've been losing to India very badly the last 2 games for less than 50. So I hope that we score 3 figures next time and beat India, because I'm also a sportsman. It's one of the tasks that I'm having, trying to figure how to sort the sports out. So we have lots of similarities, and I would always say Sri Lanka and India were connected at one point. Yeah. And the culinary experience, the history, even the way we look looks quite similar. So yeah. Sri Lankans, even the language-wise, so it's home away from home, and I think we have the better benefit than these two in promoting Sri Lanka. But we are a small country. We're a country that is challenged a lot. But we were a resilient nation. We have worked very hard, and we see the results, and Indians have always bailed us out. So for us, Indians are our own people coming into our country. So we treat them in a different way. So if you really look at it, we're even developing this homestay concept. So for the low end, we have a different thing. The high-end villa, boutique hotels, that concept is in Sri Lanka. There are a few Indian companies who are investing. ITC, the first outside hotel, is built in Sri Lanka, right on the center of Sri Lanka. It will be open within the next 1 month. It's going to be a phenomenal hotel in Colombo, right next to Taj Samudra, which is Taj Hotels. So it's going to be lots of Indians that will be promoted. We're building up a massive casino at Cinnamon Life, so that market is taken care of. The honeymoon travelers are quite a big segment from India. And what I would like to ask people to invest in Sri Lanka is, we have built 3 yacht marinas, one in the port city in Colombo, one in Galle, and one in Trinco, beautiful beaches. It'll be so much cheap than parking your yachts in Dubai, parking in Sri Lanka, taking your private jet there. So we're looking at all those aspects. And as you just rightly said, look at India alone for us. That will take us out of this trouble when it comes to tourism. So we're very keen to make sure that India is our #1 partner. And also we have more than 80 flights a week to Indian destinations, so Indian points or airports. So I think it will increase with Air India expanding. I see Alliance Express going to Jaffna, which is a new segment. So quite a lot of, as long as you create more air seat capacity, more tourists will keep coming. So, and you can cater to all.
For sure, and as you rightly pointed out, I think even for us Indians, it's a home away from home. So many similarities between the two countries, India and Sri Lanka. Philip, I've been to Qatar, like I mentioned earlier, and I know that the country offers a lot of luxurious experiences. You know, it's all about luxury and premium experiences. Are Indians really opting in for those experiences? With your experience, if you can tell us, what are the kind of things that they are really enjoying when they visit your country?
Yeah, and I'd probably just like to go back to your previous question as well. I think the nice thing is we're in quite a unique situation, and this probably counts for a lot of destinations as well, where basically demand is outstripping supply, right? And I think that's the key. So we know that's impacting. We're hoping that these bilaterals, will open up a little bit more in terms of, more flights, being able to come out of India. I think that's key. Touched on it with capacity. So I think the exciting thing, you said, which type of Indians would be interested in coming to Qatar. Well, I think, A, it's a big market, and B, there's plenty of different segments that absolutely are very interested in coming to Qatar. So as I said, whether that's weddings, whether that's sport, whether that's MICE, whether that's VFR, whether that's leisure. And we're in quite a nice position because we've got all this beautiful, shiny new product, right? So we built these beautiful new hotels. We get sometimes labeled and perceived as just being luxury, and I suppose that will come with the fact that you've got a lot of new, a lot of new hotels, a lot of new product. But the reality is that, those hotels are also hungry, right? So those hotels are offering amazing, value for money. So I think what Qatar's offering the Indian traveler is very much, and we get the feedback, it's very much a sort of 10 out of 10 of experience, right? So they're traveling on arguably the world's best airline with Qatar Airways. They're flying into Habib International Airport, voted the best airport in the world. It's the safest country in the world. So, there's a lot of pluses. We're not a big country, so it's easy to get around. And there's a lot you can see and do in Qatar in a short period of time. So whether it's the museums, whether it's the souk, whether it's the desert experiences, whether it's enjoying the cuisine, the huge range of cuisine that we have, whether it's the water parks, whether it's the new theme park that we have. So we have a lot that people can see and do, whether they're coming for a stopover, because obviously there's, as you know, a huge amount of traffic that travels from India across to Europe and onto the US, or whether people are coming for a point-to-point stay. So I think we're well positioned, world-class facilities, world-class choice of hotels, options from budget up to deluxe, great cuisine, as I said, super safe, family-friendly, easy to get around. So as I say, for us, it's more, and it's not just us as a destination, but I think the big thing with India to unlock the potential is to get some of these bilaterals sorted out so we can have, more capacity, more flights coming out, more people to be able to enjoy more destinations from India.
All right, and let's now find out about Indonesia as well. You did mention about Bali, and we Indians love Bali. We love to party for sure. I want to know, what are the other things that Indians are indulging in? Are they price conscious? Are they value conscious? Are there unique experiences for them to try? Because I know Ubud also as a destination has caught on a lot of attention by a lot of travelers, Indian travelers especially. If you can share your insights too.
Okay. So Indonesia has 17,800 islands, 2 million square meters of country stretch from north to west. So we have everything. If you are price conscious, you can go. There is a place for that. And if you want to have luxury, there are also market for that. So what important for Indonesian tourism is best value for money, I'd like to say. So, and I see the shift from Indian tourists. Before, maybe 5-7 years ago, you are price conscious, but not now. You are going to Bali, to Jakarta, you are shopping, you are spending. I think what Indian tourists look is the experience, and we have that. So we'd like to invite you, yes, come to Bali as a hub, but then there are more beyond Bali that you can try on and visit and explore. For example, next to Bali, there is an island called Lombok, where MotoGP now circuit are located. We built that beautiful beach and very strong culture. And there is new, probably now the darling of the Indonesian tourism called Komodo Island or Labuan Bajo. The only prehistoric Komodo dragons live, and there are a lot of hotels, facilities now built there, and they are ready. And what unique about this Labuan Bajo, and you can take finisi or boat, traditional boat, but very luxurious and very convenient, live aboard, so you can stay for 2 days, 3 days, a week, whichever you want. And then don't forget about Yogyakarta, the biggest Buddhist temple in Central Java. Usually if you go to Jakarta, then you go all the way to Java, end up in Borobudur before going to Bali. And the last one, two last one is what we promote beyond Bali, what we call it, or 5 super priorities is Danau Toba or Lake Toba, the biggest volcanic lake in the world. Now the government is bidding because we believe and we realize we cannot only rely on Bali or rely on Bali only, because then we hit with sustainability, more tourists and over tourism, you heard about it now. So we spread and build little by little, and I hope Indian tourists can visit, and please visit our booth here downstairs, because you have many more to visit and to explore. Thank you.
So as confirmed by all our panelists, Indians are a lot more value conscious, and they're also looking at more experiences rather than just being price conscious. And I think we've got a lot of recommendations here as well. Another interesting question that I want to know, information I want to know is about the visa and the entry policies. At the start of 2024, we saw a lot of news coming in where Indian tourists are being allowed visa-free entries. And I would like you all to confirm the news for Indian travelers or for tour operators here who are sitting here wanting to sell your destination. What is it that they need to know in terms of visa entry policies? Ma'am, if you can tell us first about Indonesia.
Okay. Pre-COVID, we have 169 countries free visa. But during COVID, it was freeze. But now, unfortunately, we're not yet open for many, except for ASEAN countries, 10 of them. But soon, we are working on it. We understand that the seamless experience, this is what I think tourists needs now. We are working on it. And India, the good news is India is one of the countries that we are working on to get visa-free to Indonesia. So it's good news. Hopefully this year, it can be materialized. And also another thing, apart from visa, actually connectivity. So we believe if the connectivity, thank God there is now a direct flight, Indigo to Jakarta, and Vistara to Bali, and hopefully Air India and Indonesian Airlines also to India. With that, we can double the number to 1.5. This is what we wish for. At the moment, yes, we met the target for 610,000, but hopefully with visa-free and connectivity, we can double up. So that's the hope. Thank you.
Philip, what about Qatar? What's the visa policy currently?
About Qatar, good question. Okay, so we similarly we have 120 countries plus it's completely visa free, no documentation, nothing required. Now, India, and not just India, quite a few countries we do have. It is actually visa free. There isn't any documentation that's needed to be pre-done. There's no payment to be done for a visa, but they do have currently. There is a requirement that they have to have a hotel booking done with a local DMC, which is part of Qatar Airways, which is Discover Qatar. Now that's not ideal, not something that us as tourism think is optimal, which is a sort of discussion we're having with the Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Immigration right now. There are exceptions to that, and these are quite considerable exceptions. So the exceptions are if the Indian passport holder currently holds a Schengen visa, or a UK visa, or a US visa, or Australian visa, or New Zealand visa, then they can apply for a short-term visa. It's just cost 100 riyals through the Haya portal. We have a portal called Haya. Very easy. They just have to apply through there with their passport details and the details of their current visa, and then the ruling of them having to have that Discover Qatar hotel voucher is they're exempt. So that's good news. The other good news is we also make exemptions for groups. So if it's a large party of a wedding group, which of course we do a lot of weddings. Destination weddings is huge for us. In India, it leads the way on that one. But not just wedding groups, but MICE groups, incentive groups. So we can handle that because then us as Qatar Tourism act as the sponsor. And then we can take care of the visas, and again, there isn't the Discover Qatar requirement as well. So there are exceptions. It's not ideal at the moment, and we are working hard. We're looking at ways where we can, work with the Ministry of Interior just to sort of relax that a bit. So I think one thing they're looking at is just people paying a small deposit or fee, which will get fully refunded, and then they'll become exempt as well. So it's a good question, and it's one we are trying to tackle head on as tourism, to make it a lot easier for people to get in. But that's the situation at the moment.
Okay, Harin, you go next. Tell us about Sri Lanka.
So Sri Lanka, I'm glad to say last November I was able to put a special cabinet approval to do a pilot for 7 countries, which includes India, Indonesia, Bangkok, Thailand, Malaysia, and a few countries, just a pilot, but India heads away, Russia. It's visa-free right now, but they have to go through an ETA system, which is only for recording purposes. Most travel agents do that for them, but currently for Indians, it's visa-free. It will go on till March, but I'm quite hopeful I can extend it, because I've got my numbers of, just charging $20 for a visa and getting a person coming there, they spend much more than the $20. So if that is the trigger factor to get people down, governments should be more sensible if you're a tourism destination to make sure that you relax the visas, at least on the potential countries that brings you the tourism, so that just hop on a aircraft and just make yourself available. Just you want to take a break, just leave the country or leave the home and nobody knows and you'll be in Sri Lanka. So that should be the concept that I would like to see Indians have that option to do with Sri Lanka. So it's going on in Sri Lanka, and even the ETA, we are hoping to have more than 160 officers in the world through a VFS centers to facilitate this, promote Sri Lanka, etc. So that's the next step that we are working on, but currently Indians walking free.
Oh, that's amazing. And clearly, easing the visa policy makes it easier to take travel decisions. Definitely, as the options grow. But there's one thing that we Indians love. Okay, we like to try global cuisines, but after a couple of days, we like to get our Indian food. So, do your countries offer enough Indian restaurants for the Indian travelers? Philip, what about Qatar?
Yeah, we do. I mean, absolutely. We have obviously a large population of Indians living and working in Qatar as well. So I think for any taste, I mean, we're quite blessed. I mean, that we have a huge selection from all the high-end, well-known Zumas, Hakkasan, Koyas, you name it, Nobus, Nosrets, international high-end cuisine. But then we also have a huge array of Indian restaurants as well, if that's the cuisine that they're wanting to look for. They won't have to look too far to find some fantastic Indian restaurants, which is my favourite food as well, by the way. So I'll frequent quite a few of those.
There's a good Sri Lankan restaurant there, also called Hoppers.
Yes, I have eaten that one as well. Yes, absolutely, and some very good Indonesian restaurants as well. But we're truly international. I think. I mean, even going back, if you look at, Qatar's a trading country, right? I mean, that's back in its history. It was a big trading port. So you could argue that even their local cuisine of Qatar is a sort of mixture, actually, of a lot of Indian influence in that, because when the trading days, the shipping was going to and from Qatar to India. So there's some very heavy influence in our Qatari cuisine, actually, that dates back from India. So yeah, so people certainly won't have to look too far to find some fabulous Indian subcontinent food, I would say. So yes, absolutely, from whether it be Indian, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, absolutely, yeah, we're blessed on that side. But also a huge choice with local Syrian, Lebanese, North African, international. We have a lot of options.
The world is clearly becoming smaller, and we are all being open to global flavors as well. And like you mentioned, you are offering multiple cuisines and not just Indian. Even Indonesia, I know, has a lot of Indian restaurants. Do you have a particular Indian dish that you like personally?
Okay, good question. Because I always look forward to come to India for one reason. In the morning, dosa.
Wow.
Masala dosa is my favorite. And today I had wonderful dosa also in my hotel. I'm sure there are many more nicer than that outside. But you know what? Speaking of food, and this is interesting. Yeah, because of tourism, there are more and more Indian restaurants now in Indonesia. And this is true enough. And I thought, this is like chicken and egg situation. Before, and we have handful of Indian diaspora in Indonesia, before like maybe a few in Jakarta, in Bali, but now, even during OTM, I brought the restaurant to be one of our industry that perform in the fair here. Why? Because when you have weddings, for example, the requirement has to be good Indian restaurant or catering. That's why we brought them here, because there are more and more demand for this food, a good Indian food that cater for weddings. So that's why, and this is great for the ecosystem of tourism. And speaking of food, by survey in Indonesia, 50% of Indonesian traveling because of food. So I believe, I don't know about the Indian numbers here. I know you are very devoted and very particular about your food, but I hope you can also explore other international or Indonesian food. But again, for Indonesian going overseas, maybe out of 7 days or 1 week, maybe 2 days, 5 days, they can eat international food, but 2 days they have to have their rice, they have to have their Indonesian dish. I'm sure in India also the same. So again, we are very pleased to see the growth of tourism that brings to the business, to the wealth and prosperity of the people and the industry. So that's my point.
Harin, the
Just have
flavors
to
are
watch
very
out for the
similar.
spice. That's all I always forget when I come to India. But I love the curries, and then all of a sudden it's sort of twice as hot as what I'm used to.
So when it comes to Indian restaurants, yes, I think Indian and Chinese food is global. In anywhere, in any country, that's the easiest two restaurants that you can find. So I don't think anywhere you'll go wrong with Indian or Chinese food finding in any corner of this world. So similarly in Sri Lanka, but what we offer is, see, we have a huge influence with the Kerala, the way we speak, the language. So they call it appam for hoppers. We call it appa. It's very similar the way we call it. In the appam is they call the string hopper. So we call it the same name in the appam in Sri Lanka. So the similarities and finding lots of vegetarian food is quite easy in Sri Lanka because we are a Buddhist country, and number 2 is Hindus. So number 3 is Muslims, and number 4 is Catholics. So that's demographics in Sri Lanka when the religions are concerned. So we cater to all markets. If you really look at it, the Hyderabad biryani is quite famous there. So it has a twist of Sri Lankan biryani in it. So all in all, I think finding Indian food isn't going to be the greatest problems because all our 5-star, 4-star, 3-star restaurants and any chef at a house, even at a homestay, would know to cook a meal or two on Indian. So it's quite similar in Sri Lanka with the food and the eating patterns. We all eat hot food and the curries. And I had idli today in the morning here. So that's my favorite. So I think we've grown up knowing Indian food inside out. So it's quite common.
Well, of course, and like I said, the flavors are quite similar, and I'm very happy that there are options in all 3 countries as you guys represent those. Let's play a fun game. What do you guys say? We're going to play a travel trivia challenge, okay? I'm going to be asking questions to all of you about each other's countries, and you guys have to get the right answer, okay? So the first question is going to be about Indonesia, okay? Which Miss Ayu is not going to answer, but she's going to judge if Philip and Harin are giving the right answers or not.
Okay.
Okay? So you're the judge now. So the first question, there are going to be 3 questions about each of the countries. First question is, what is the traditional Indonesian fried rice called? Philip or Harin? Okay, audience can also help. Whoever Harin or Philip can hear, they can give those answers.
Very good.
Nasi goreng.
Okay, we can't compliment Harin's general knowledge, but his hearing abilities. He heard you guys first.
I did ask you all to say it.
Okay, at least give them a chance for 10 seconds to guess. If not, then we'll have it from the audience, okay? So Harin gets a point. The second question is?
50.
That's being lucky, like Sri Lanka.
Okay, no answers for first 15 seconds. Okay, second question. In which Indonesian city can you find the famous monkey forest?
Ubud?
Oh,
Correct.
okay.
I went there for a wedding, that's why.
I did know that one, but I wasn't as quick. So
Okay, what is the official language of Indonesia?
Indonesian.
Is it?
Oh, wow.
That's right.
The audience is doing very well. Well, Indonesian is in English, but the language is Bahasa Indonesia. Correct.
Okay.
50% point.
50% points. Okay. Okay. Philip, can we ask some questions to them about Qatar? Yeah? Okay. What is the traditional Qatari dish which is made of rice, meat, and spices called? It's also very similar to biryani.
Oh. Wait, let me think.
I actually had it last week, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I can imagine in front of me now the
you
dish,
hungry?
but the name, like biryani.
Shall we open it to the audience?
Mandi, nasi mandi. Yeah.
Philip, would that qualify? Yes? Okay. There's also kapsa, right?
Huh?
Kapsa? Okay. Okay, this one's fairly simple. What is the currency of Qatar?
Real.
Okay.
Qatar Real.
Okay. What is the traditional Arabic coffee served in Qatar called? Coffee or tea, actually. I would say tea.
No,
Cha?
Arabic coffee, right?
That's Indian. Thank you very much.
Arabic coffee. It's coffee, Arabic coffee.
Okay.
What's the-
Let me change the question then. Traditional Arabic tea served in Qatar called? Philip, is it kawa?
Oh, kawa.
Kawa.
Kawa. Oh, okay.
I wish I had Google.
Okay. Good you guys don't have your phones here. Okay. Harin, let's ask them questions about Sri Lanka then. Which animal is holding the sword in the Sri Lankan flag?
Tiger.
Lion. Yay.
I just covered my badge.
Okay. The official language spoken in Sri Lanka is?
Wait, I know this. Gosh.
Philip is not even trying.
Audience?
Okay, let's open it to the audience.
Singha? No.
Oh, is it not Sinhala?
No,
Sinhala. Yes.
Singhala.
Yes.
Singhala.
That's right.
Sinhala.
Sinhala is right. Not Sri Lanka.
Oh, okay.
I like this game. I know, right? Can get help.
Okay.
It's good.
Okay, what is the popular Sri Lankan street food which is made of chopped roti, vegetables and meat, which is often served with spicy curry sauce called? Yes, I think so, yeah. I have also Googled all my questions and answers, so I'm hoping this is the right one. I'm waiting for Harin to confirm.
I have
Yes.
my assistant there. What is it?
So to make it life easier, they just tap it like this.
Hop drum. Oh.
Any guesses?
Hopper.
I heard somewhere. Sorry?
That's right. It's kottu roti. Kottu roti, right? That's kottu. Okay. Okay, we have a bonus round. We're going to ask you something about India as well. And let's see if you can get the answers right. I know the answers here. So, okay. Which city in India is famous for its iconic monument, the Taj Mahal?
Agra.
Agra.
Okay. Official language of India is?
Hindi.
Hindu.
Okay. Traditional Indian flatbread made from whole wheat flour, often served with curry or vegetables.
What's the question?
I'll repeat. Traditional Indian flatbread made from whole wheat flour, often served with curry or vegetables.
Paratha? No.
Yes. Yeah. Or roti. Yes. Okay. What is the traditional Indian greeting often accompanied by a slight bow or the palms pressed together in front of the chest?
Namaste, namaskar.
Namaste.
Vanakkam, Aibuan.
Correct. Okay, that was a good round, and clearly we all know a lot about each other's countries. Now, if there's anybody in the audience who would want to ask questions to our esteemed panelists here. Anybody? Please raise your hand. We'll try and send the mic there. May I request you to stand up, please, so that the mic can reach to you sooner. Oh, I thought somebody raised their hand. No? Do we have any questions, guys? Oh.
The only thing I was going to say,
Yeah.
actually, probably should have mentioned, we probably didn't touch on, was events as well. So we've just got the amazing AFC going on at the moment, the Asia Cup. And it was fantastic to see India playing in that competition. Did really well, actually. We have a whole huge calendar. Just look at it, Qatar calendar anytime. We've got, talking about food, we've got the Qatar Food Festival coming up. We've just had the shopping festival where they're giving away cars and apartments. So we've got the Web Summit coming up. We've got the Formula One. So we have a huge, every month there's a load of events that people can enjoy when they're in Qatar Expo. We've got at the moment the Horticultural Expo. So I thought I'd just chuck that one in at the end, as nobody had any questions. So, and I did really badly on the quiz. I put myself in better position again.
Let me also make a closing remarks and just want to say thank you, OTM, for having us. And Sri Lanka has been present as well as Indonesia, Qatar, and we see the potential of Indian market, and thank you for organizing something like this. And there walks in a lady who actually should be congratulated all the time for helping Sri Lanka tourism, the Thai president, Jyoti Mal, who's just walked in. She's a mother of Sri Lanka who actually helped Sri Lanka move into where we are. Thank you for being here, ma'am. So having said that, our tagline is Sri Lanka, you'll come back for more. One of the reasons we chose this was 33% of the travelers to Sri Lanka are repeaters. They fall in love with the place, they keep coming back. So I hope your next visit is going to be to Sri Lanka, and you'll keep coming back to Sri Lanka more. Thank you. Thank you for having us. Thanks.
Okay, for me, let me say this. Please, especially, I know the industry are here, please, when you come to Indonesia, explore more. As I said earlier, we have 17,000 islands. A lot of best-kept secret unknown. If you want to avoid crowd, for example, go to the remote island of Indonesia, be there, be yourself, enjoy, best value for money. So if you come not only for 1 week, but maybe 1 month, or maybe come 5 times a year, 1 week, and then I know your pattern, the Indian pattern is 5 times, right, a year, with your friend, with your girl or boyfriend, with your family, with your office, for example. Each time when you come, don't only go to one place, but explore others. Thank you so much.
Well, definitely. The Indian traveler wants to explore more, wants to see more places, newer places, tap into the unexplored destinations. And I think it's been amazing. And thank you very much to all our panelists for telling us more about your country. I can tell the Indian traveler is ready to come to your country, and I hope your country is ready to welcome us.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, OTM.
Request you to be on stage for just 1 more minute, please. Just 1 more minute. We would like to thank you and honor you for having talked to us for this long. Ladies and gentlemen,